Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Thursday, July 23rd. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. Now that the remnants of Tropical Storm Alita have passed far to our north, the marine layer has become much shallower as compared to this time yesterday. There continues to be some low clouds covering the central coast, as well as the Orange and San Diego County coastline, but coverage is much less than yesterday. Clouds are sure to clear pretty quickly over the next few hours. Monsoonal activity is also starting to wane, so those mid and high-level clouds that have been hanging out over the deserts recently have gone away. As a result, there will be plentiful sunshine today, with hot temperatures all across central and southern California, including the coastal plains. We will be in this hot pattern for the long haul. High pressure centered over the Four Corners and desert southwest is expected to remain the dominant weather feature through next week, keeping us in this persistent hot and dry pattern. It will be at its strongest Friday through the weekend, then weaken a little early next week, before likely strengthening again later next week. Despite the minor nuances in strength, there will be little change in the daily weather as we move into next week. The high will keep the marine layer very shallow to non-existent, allowing temperatures across the coastal areas to sharply rise, preventing much in the way of any cooler relief to retreat to. In addition, the monsoon activity will become less apparent and humidity may also become a bit lower across the interior. Over the next few days, as the center of the high pressure moves closer to the desert southwest, the flow aloft will become less favorable for monsoon activity to develop. This is because the very favorable southeasterly flow that we have been seeing recently is starting to transition into more of a south to southwesterly flow, which pushes the monsoonal energy farther north and east. As a result, monsoonal thunderstorm activity will become more isolated in nature over the next several days. Nonetheless, there will still remain just enough moisture and instability to warrant some activity concentrated across the typical areas during the afternoon and evening hours, including along and east of the Sierra Crest, the southern and eastern mountains, and the deserts. We are not expecting any significant fire weather-related issues with these monsoonal storms, as they will likely remain on the wetter side. Though, of course, a few additional new fire starts are certainly possible from lightning ignitions, but the growth potential should be limited. The main story for the forecast period, and likely beyond, will be the heat. Temperatures across the region will remain around 5 to 10 degrees above seasonal averages each day through early next week, with little overall daily change. Highs in the mid-90s to around 105 will be common across the valleys, 80s to low 90s common closer to the coast and for the lower mountains, and around 115 for the low desert. Higher than usual overnight temperatures will continue to be a factor as well, leading to a lack of cooler nighttime relief for most of the population. Due to the hot afternoon temperatures and lack of overnight cooling, much of central and southern California remains under heat advisories and extreme heat warnings through the rest of this week. Temperatures may cool a few degrees for the first half of next week as the high pressure weakens slightly, though conditions will remain hot overall. Forecast projections continue to indicate that temperatures will heat up again later next week, and there is the potential for temperatures to climb even higher than they are now. Since California remains on the western edge of the high pressure area, minimum humidity will remain mostly in the 12 to 25% range away from the coast and from any monsoonal activity for the next couple days. As we go towards the weekend and early next week, the center of the high pressure area may move a bit closer to California as it settles around the desert southwest. This means that drier areas across the interior may lower into the 8 to 20% range this weekend into early next week. Areas of poor overnight recoveries may also become more prevalent across the low to mid elevations. As the high pressure weakens a little early next week, humidity may come up a little bit. With the hot and dry weather expected to continue, ERCs will be on the rise across most areas as we finish off this week and move into next week. The only exception will be for the few areas that get continuous monsoonal activity, particularly the eastern Sierra. ERCs will be approaching the 90th to 97th percentiles across most PSAs by early next week, which we have not yet seen this year. This hot and dry pattern will also encourage steady declines in live fuel moistures, which are at or approaching critical levels in some drier areas. All in all, the overall flammability is generally on an upwards trend across the region, outside of the localized areas that have received beneficial moisture from the monsoon. Fire potential will be on the gradual rise as hot and dry weather continues into next week. While critical conditions are not expected, the hot temperatures, long burn periods, and increasingly flammable fuels will bring potential for significant fire growth on any new or existing ignitions, so things are probably going to get pretty busy very soon. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Friday, July 24th. Have a fantastic day.